Welcome back. And our next extract is from Calypso. In Book 5 of Homer's Odyssey, we finally encounter Odysseus himself. In Chapter 5 of Ulysses, we are introduced to the 38-year-old Leopold Bloom in the domestic setting of his home at number 7 Eccles Street on the north side of Dublin. In the Odyssey, Odysseus has been on the island of the goddess and enchantress Calypso for 7 years, in thrall to her and, allegedly, compelled to lie with her every night. But Odysseus does set off homewards, having built a boat with the Calypso's aid. Crucial to an understanding of the book are Bloom as Odysseus, or Ulysses, Molly, his wife, as Penelope, the wife whose husband is missing. There's also a character called Boylan, as another version of the arrogant suitor Antinous. In Ulysses, advertising canvasser Leopold Bloom is preparing breakfast and decides he would enjoy a kidney. First, verifying that his wife Molly, still in bed, does not want anything special, Bloom heads out to the pork butcher's, where he reads about a Zionist enterprise in Palestine. Our reader for this extract is Karen Baum.
Mr. Leopold Bloom ate with relish the inner organs of beasts and fowls. He liked thick giblet soup, nutty gizzards, a stuffed roast heart, liver slices fried with crust crumbs, fried hencods roes. Most of all, he liked grilled mutton kidneys, which gave to his palate a fine tang of faintly scented urine. Kidneys were in his mind as he moved about the kitchen softly, righting her breakfast trays on a humpy tray. Gelid light and air were in the kitchen, but out of doors, gentle summer morning everywhere made him feel a bit peckish. The coals were reddening. Another slice of bread and butter. 3, 4, right. She didn't like her plate full, right. He turned from the tray, lifted the kettle off the hob, and set it sideways on the fire. It sat there, dull and squat, its spout stuck out. Cup of tea soon, good. Mouth dry. The cat walked stiffly round a leg of the table with tail on high. Meow! Oh, there you are, Mr. Bloom said, turning from the fire. The cat mewed in answer and stalked again stiffly round a leg of the table, mewing. Just how she stalks over my writing table. Prrr, scratch my head. Prrr. Mr. Bloom watched curiously, kindly, the lithe black form. Clean to see. The gloss of her slick hide, the white button under the butt of her tail, the green flashing eyes. He bent down to her, his hands on his knees. Milk for the pussins, he said. Meow, the cat cried. They called them stupid. They understand what we say better than we understand them. She understands all she wants to. Vindictive, too. Cruel. Her nature. Curious mice never squeal. Seem to like it. Wonder what I look like to her. Height of a tower? No, she can jump me. Afraid of the chickens she is, he said mockingly. Afraid of the chook-chooks. I never saw such a stupid pussins as the pussins. Meow, the cat said loudly. She blinked up out of her avid, shame-closing eyes, mewing plaintively and long, showing him her milk-white teeth. He watched the dark eye slits narrowing with greed, till her eyes were green stones. Then he went to the dresser, took the jug Hanlon's milkman had just filled for him, poured warm-bubbled milk on a saucer, and set it slowly on the floor. Grrr, she cried, running to lap. He watched the bristles shining wirily in the weak light as she tipped 3 times and licked lightly. Wonder, is it true if you clip them, they can't mouse after? Why? They shine in the dark, perhaps, the tips. Or kind of feelers in the dark, perhaps. He listened to her licking lap. Ham and eggs? No. No good eggs with this drought. Want pure, fresh water. Thursday. Not a good day either for mutton kidney at Buckley's. Fried with butter, a shake of pepper. Better a pork kidney at ULYSSES while the kettle's boiling. She lapped slower, then licking the saucer clean. Why are their tongues so rough? To lap better, all porous holes. Nothing she can eat. He glanced round him. No. On quietly creaky boots, he went up the staircase to the hall, paused by the bedroom door. She might like something tasty. Thin bread and butter she likes in the morning. Still, perhaps, once in a way. He said softly in the bare hall, I'm going round the corner. Be back in a minute. And when he had heard his voice say it, he added, You don't want anything for breakfast? A sleepy, soft grunt answered, No. She didn't want anything. He heard then a warm, heavy sigh, softer, as she turned over and the loose brass quoits of the bedstead jingled. Must get those settled, really. Pity, all the way from Gibraltar. Forgotten any little Spanish she knew. Wonder what her father gave for it. Old style. Ah, yes, of course. Bought it at the governor's auction. Got a short knock. Hard as nails at a bargain, old Tweedy. Yes, sir. At Plevna, that was. I rose from the ranks, sir, and I'm proud of it. Still, he had brains enough to make that corner in stamps. Now that was far-seeing. His hand took his hat from the peg over his initialed heavy overcoat and his lost property office second-hand waterproof. Stamps. Sticky-back pictures. Dare say lots of officers are in the swim, too. Of course they do. That sweated legend in the crown of his hat told him mutely. Plasto's high grade. He peeped quietly inside the leather handbag. White slip of paper. Quite safe. On the doorstep, he felt his hip pocket for the latchkey. Not there. In the trousers I left off. Must get it. Potato I have. Creaky wardrobe. No use disturbing her. She turned over sleepily that time. He pulled the hall door to after him, very quietly, more, till the foot leaf dropped gently over the threshold. A limp lid. Look shut. All right till I come back, anyhow. He crossed to the bright side, avoiding the loose cellar flap of number 75. The sun was nearing the steeple of George's church. It'd be a warm day, I fancy, especially in these black clothes. Feel it more. Black conducts, refracts, is it? The heat? But I couldn't go in that light suit. Make a picnic of it. His eyelids sank quietly often as he walked in happy warmth. Bullen's bread band delivering with trays our daily, but she prefers yesterday's loaves. Turnovers, crisp crowns hot. Makes you feel young. Somewhere in the east, early morning, set off at dawn. Travel round in front of the sun, steal a day's march on him. Keep it up forever, never grown a day older, technically. Walk along a strand, strange land, come to a city gate. Sentry there, old rancor too. Old Tweedy's big moustaches, leaning on long kind of a spear. Wander through awned streets. Turbaned faces going by, dark caves of carpet shops. Big man, Turco the Terrible, seated cross-legged, smoking a coiled pipe. Cries of sellers in the streets. Drink water scented with fennel, sherbet. Dander along all day. Might meet a robber or two. Well, meet him. Getting on to sundown, the shadows of the mosques among the pillars. Priest with a scroll rolled up. A shiver in the trees signal the evening wind. I pass on. Fading gold sky. A mother watches me from her doorway. She calls her children home in their dark language. High wall beyond strings twanged. Night sky, moon, violet. Color of Molly's new garters. Strings, listen. A girl playing one of those instruments, what do you call them? Dulcimers. I pass. He approached Larry O'Rourke's. From the cellar grating floated up the flabby gush of porter. From the open doorway, the bar squirted out whiffs of ginger, tea dust, biscuit mush. Good house, however. Just the end of the city traffic. For instance, Molly's down there, NG as position. Of course, if they ran a tram line along the North Circular from the cattle market to the quays, value would go up like a shot. Bald head over the blind, cute old codger. No use canvassing him for an ad. But still, he knows his own business best. There he is, sure enough, my bold Larry, leaning against the sugar bin in his shirt sleeves, watching the apron curate swab up with mop and bucket. Simon Dedalus takes him to a tea with his eyes screwed up. Do you know what I'm going to tell you? What's that, Mr. O'Rourke? Do you know what? The Russians, they'd only be an 8 o'clock breakfast for the Japanese. Stop and say a word. About the funerals, perhaps. Sad thing about Port Dignam, Mr. O'Rourke. Turning into Dorset Street, he said freshly in greeting in the doorway. Good day, Mr. O'Rourke. Good day to you. Lovely weather, sir. 'Tis all that. Where do they get the money? Coming up red-headed curates from the County Leitrim, rinsing empties, an old man in the cellar. Then, lo and behold, they blossom out as Adam Finlaters or Dan Talons. And think of the competition. General thirst. A good puzzle would be cross Dublin without passing a pub. Save it, they can't. Off the trunks, perhaps. Put down 3 and carry 5. What is that, a bob? Here and there, dribs and drabs. On the wholesale orders, perhaps. Doing a double shuffle with the Tom Travellers. We square to you with the boss and we'll split the job, see? He passed St. Joseph's National School. Brats clamor, windows open. Fresh air helps memory. Or a lilt. ABC, DFG, KLOM, OPQ, RSTUV, W. Boys, are they? Yes. Inish Turk, Inish Shark, Inish Boffin. At their geography. Mine, Sleeve Bloom. He halted before de Glatz's window, staring at the hanks of sausages, polonies, black and white. 15 multiplied by. The figures in his mind unsolved. Displeased, he let them fade. The shiny links, packed with forcemeat, fed his gaze, and he breathed in tranquilly the lukewarm breath of cooked, spicy pig's blood. A kidney oozed blood gouts on the willow-patterned dish. The last. He stood by the next-door girl at the counter. Would she buy it too? Calling the items from a slip in her hand. Chapped. Washing soda. 1.5 pounds of Denny's sausages. His eyes rested on her vigorous hips. Woods, his name is. Wonder what he does. Wife is oldish. New blood. No followers allowed. Strong pair of arms. Whacking a carpet on the clothesline. She does whack it, by George. The way her crooked skirt swings at each whack. The ferret-eyed pork butcher folded the sausages he had snipped off with blotchy fingers, sausage pink. Sound meat there, like a stall-fed heifer. He took a page up from the pile of cut sheets. The model farm at Kinnereth, on the lake shore of Tiberias. can become ideal winter sanatorium. Moses Montefiore, I thought he was. Farmhouse, wall round it, blurred cattle cropping. He held the page from him. Interesting. Read it nearer, the title. Blurred cropping cattle. The page rustling. A young white heifer. It was mornings in the cattle market. Beasts lowing in their pens. Branded sheep flop and fall of dung. The breeders in hobnailed boots trudging through litter. Slapping a palm on the ripe meated hindquarter. There's a prime one. Unpeeled switches in their hands. He held the page aslant patiently, bending his senses and his will, his soft subject gaze at rest. The crooked skirt swinging whack by whack by whack. The pork butcher snapped 2 sheets from the pile, wrapped up her prime sausages, and made a red grimace. Now, my miss, he said. She tendered a coin, smiling boldly, holding her thick wrist out. Thank you, my miss, and 1 shilling 3 change. For you, please. Mr. Bloom pointed quickly. To catch up and watch behind her if she went slowly, behind her moving hams. Pleasant to see first thing in the morning. Hurry up, damn it. Make hay when the sun shines. She stood outside the shop in sunlight and sauntered lazily to the right. He sighed down his nose. They never understand. Soda-chapped hands, crusted toenails too. Brown scapulars and tatters defending her both ways. The sting of disregard glowed to weak pleasure within his breast. For another, a constable off duty, cuddling her in Eccles Lane. They like them sizable, prime sausage. Oh, please, Mr. Policeman, I'm lost in the wood. 3, please. His hand accepted the moist, tender gland and slid it into a side pocket. Then it fetched up 3 coins from his trousers pocket and laid them on the rubber prickles. They lay, were read quickly, and quickly slid, disc by disc, into the till. Thank you, sir. Another time. A speck of eager fire from fox eyes thanked him. He withdrew his glaze after an instant. No, better not. Another time. Good morning, he said, moving away. Good morning, sir. No sign. Gone. What matter? He walked back along Dorset Street, reading gravely. Agendath Needham, Planters Company. To purchase waste, sandy tracts from Turkish government and plant with eucalyptus trees. Excellent for shade, fuel and construction. Orange groves and immense melon fields north of Jaffa. You pay 80 marks, and they plant a dunam of land for you with olives, oranges, almonds, or citrons. Olives cheaper. Oranges need artificial irrigation. Every year, you get a sending of the crop. Your name entered for life as owner in the book of the union. You can pay 10 down and the balance in yearly installments. Leaves Trustrasse, 34, Berlin, W15. Oh, nothing doing. Still an idea behind it. He looked at a cattle, blurred in silver heat. Silver powdered olive trees. Quiet long days. Pruning, ripening. Olives are packed in jars, eh? I have a few left from Andrews. Molly's spitting them out. Knows the taste of them now. Oranges and tissue paper packed in crates. Citrons, too. Who wonders, poor Citrons, still in St. Kevin's Parade. And Mastiansky with the old cither. Pleasant evenings we had then. Molly in Citron's basket chair. Nice to hold. Cool waxen fruit, hold in the hand. Lift it to the nostrils and smell the perfume. Like that heavy, sweet, wild perfume. Always the same, year after year. Well, they fetch high prices too, Moisel told me. Our beauteous place, Pleasant Street, pleasant old times. Must be without a flaw, he said. Coming all that way, Spain, Gibraltar, Mediterranean, the Levant. Crates lined up on the quayside at Jaffa. Chap ticking them off in a book. Navvies handling them barefoot in soiled dungarees. Oh, there's what you call out of him. How do you? Doesn't see. Chap, you know, just to salute. Bit of a bore. His back is like that Norwegian captain's. Wonder if I'll meet him today. Watering cart, to provoke the rain. On earth as it is in heaven. A cloud began to cover the sun slowly, wholly, grey, far. No, it's not like that. A barren land, bare waste. Volcanic lake, the Dead Sea, no fish, weedless, sunk deep in the earth. No wind could lift those waves, grey metal, poisonous, foggy waters. Brimstone, they call it, raining down. The cities of the plain, Sodom, Gomorrah, Edom, all dead names. A dead sea and a dead land, grey and old. Old now. It bore the oldest, the first race. A bent hand crossed from Cassidy's, clutching an agon bottle by the neck. The oldest people. Wandered far away from all the earth, captivity to captivity, multiplying, dying, being born everywhere. They lay there now. Now it can bear no more. Dead. In old woman's. The grey sunken cunt of the world. Desolation. Grey horror seared his flesh. Folding the page into his pocket, he turned into Eccles Street, hurrying homeward. Cold oil slid along his veins, chilling his blood. Age crusting him with a salt cloak. Well, I'm here now. Yes, I am here now. Morning mouth of bad images. He got up at the wrong side of the bed. Must begin again those Sandow's exercises. On the hands down. Blotchy, brown, brick houses. Number 8 is still unlet. Why is that? Valuation is only 28. Towers, Battersby, North, MacArthur. Parlour windows, plastic brick bills. Plasters on the sore eye. To smell the gentle smoke of tea. Fume of the pan, sizzling butter. Be near her ample, bed-warmed flesh. Yes. Yes. Quick, warm sunlight came running from Berkeley Road, swiftly, in slim sandals, along the brightening footpath. Runs. She runs to meet me. A girl with gold hair on the wind. Thank you.